Hello, family. Welcome to Table Talk and Prayer, the space where culture meets Christ and conversations get real. So, pull up a chair, let's talk, let's pray, and let's grow together. So, here at Table Talk and Prayer, the conversations that we get to have together are conversations centered around our culture and Jesus Christ, right? How we get to marry those two together. We are living in the world whereby there seems to be no direction. It seems as if everyone is just going about, or people are just experimenting, right? So I wanted to do something different for myself and just create a space and create a community whereby we can just come together as people who have the same faith, people who have the same God, right? People who have the same savior, if you like to put it that way, right? Or even somebody who doesn't even believe in God, right? So this is the perfect space for everyone to come and express their opinions, right? So currently, I am gonna be the host as well as the guest. So right, what I'm planning to do throughout is to have. So I basically research questions that most people tend to ask themselves, right? I normally go to my social media pages. I go to my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, and I just get compile those questions that people comment with, right? Most people we tend to ask questions and they don't get answered, right? So I do my research in terms of the questions that I actually answer, right? So it's not just random questions that I talk about, right? I know that sometimes it does feel like this person is just talking about random things. Well, I'm not talking about random things, but I'm basically talking about a couple of questions that I find on social media that most people are struggling to find answers to, right? So I bring those questions to my channel so we can actually get to have a conversation about them, right? So the best way for you to make sure that you also include yourself in this conversation is to comment, to share, and also subscribe. I would actually love to hear what is your opinion on the matter that we are discussing, right? So today's topic is what makes a home for you. What makes what makes a home for you, right? Just to elaborate on the question, when you come back from work, when you come back from church, when you come back from fetching your child, when you come back from whatever endeavor you were doing or you were busy with throughout the day, when you get home, what is that emotion that you feel? Or when you go home, what is that feeling that you want to come across when you get home, right? So that's basically what the today's conversation is gonna be based on, right? Just to find that thing that actually makes a home, right? So I'm gonna answer these questions for myself, right? And I believe also when I'm answering these questions, I'm also prompting you to ask your question, to ask yourself those questions. What makes a house a home for you, right? Because you are not the same individual. We are different people. Some people they prefer to have a very nice, quiet place. Some people they prefer to find a home cooked meal. That's what makes a house a home for them. Some people they enjoy coming back from home and finding kids, like the noise kids make. Somebody actually enjoys that, right? After a hard day of laboring, when they get home, they just want to hug their kids. They just want to hug their wives, their girlfriends, right? But that's the thing that actually makes that space a home for that person, right? So the question today is, or the topic for today is exactly that. Actually, want to find out what makes a house a home for you, right? So I can start with myself. What makes the house that I stay in a home for me? So it doesn't have to be your home, your mother's place. It's a home. It's where you are, right? Every place that you find yourself sleeping in, that's your home, right? If I was a street kid and the garage is my home, that's actually my home, right? So the first question would be, how can we define a home? How can I define a home? So for me myself, home is where I need to feel warm. Like it needs to have some type of warmth, right? I need to feel warm. I need to feel safe. I need to feel at peace, right? That's what defines a home for me. When I'm coming back from work, when I'm coming back from anything that I could be doing throughout the day, I want to get home, find the warmth of home. I want to find a home cooked meal, right? I want to find people in uh, around the table enjoying food, talking. They could be talking about the soapy that they are watching. They could be talking about a movie that they are watching. But when I get home and I find people around the table having a conversation, that's home for me. That's actually the fundamental point, or that is actually the foundation of where this podcast is, or where this year's podcast is based on. It's based on having a community around you, people that you talk about, people that you talk with, people that you share opinions with, right? So that's what makes a home for me. That's what feels at home for me, right? It needs to be warm, it needs to feel safe, I need to see familiar faces, right? I need to smell home. Like it could be a meal, it could be anything that sounds, anything that smells familiar. That's what makes a home for me, right? That's the first answer to the first question. How can we define home? The second question would be, what is uh, what is the one thing you appreciate about being at home, right? So when you get home, what is that one thing that you appreciate about being home, right? It seems it's more or less similar to the first question, but it's not similar. So this one is, what is the one thing that you appreciate about being at home? Okay, so with me, it's like, because you are surrounded by people who know you, because you are surrounded by people that have seen you when you were young, it 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 feels like you don't need, somebody said you don't need to mask, right? You don't need to put on a certain mask. When you are angry, even if I try to hide my anger, somebody's gonna pick it up on, nah, 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 this guy is mad. This guy is angry now, right? When I'm excited, somebody's gonna pick up, oh wow, this person is excited, because why? Those people, they actually know you. You can try to be, or you can try to hide, but those people, they know you. They know, ah no, this person is actually excited now, right? So this person is mad, this person doesn't want to talk, this person doesn't want to speak, let's give him time, right? So that's one thing that I appreciate about being home, that form of self identity, right? And I'm not saying, because we can have places whereby the identity is not a positive one, right? I just wanna digress and just to cover that part, because I know it is possible whereby we have different homes, right? When somebody goes home, they actually go into a very loud place, they go into a very rude place, they go into a very unkind place or unkind energies, right? They go to, right? Some people, they actually go to those spaces, right? So when I say familiarity, what I'm saying, it's mostly those people that actually, regardless of the circumstances that you may find yourself in, or the condition that you may find yourself in, those people, they actually do understand, right? They do understand, and they actually know you, right? So it doesn't matter the background that you are coming from. It doesn't matter the energy that you are surrounded with or you are surrounded by, right? What I'm talking about is that environment that allows you to be you, right? You can just, if you somebody who is an introvert, you can just sit there for 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, just on your own. You don't have to mingle with everyone all the time, right? That's what I'm talking about. If you somebody who's old, there used to be a time whereby I just love my headsets. Like even if we could be sitting around watching TV, but I still have my headphones, right? But I'm in the same room as my family, right? So it does happen, but I'm talking about being in an environment whereby you don't need to pretend to be anybody else. As you are growing, as you are maturing, you don't need to pretend, because those people also, they grow also. What I've realized is that people who are positive, people who are growing, people who are exploring, people who are maturing, as time goes by, those people, they tend to do so. They tend to grow more, they tend to mature more, they tend to become more positive, right? Those, the opposite, which is the negativity, the negative people, even those people, what they do, they also grow. They also grow, right? Whatever they do multiplies, right? So if you and I, or if you didn't get along with somebody in 2020, because that person was negative, after 5 years, when you come back, you might find out that that person is still negative, even more, because why? Time has passed, right? Time has allowed them to become more of what they are already, right? So you don't need to worry about positive or negative, right? Positive energy being around you or negative energy being around you. Just focus on yourself, right? You will attract those people that are actually on the same level as you, and those people that are not in the same level as you. What's gonna happen is that you guys, you're gonna grow apart, right? You will slowly grow apart, and it's fine. It's fine. It's supposed to happen like that. You're not supposed to have the same friends you had when you were young, because people do grow apart, right? It's not always growing together. It's We have those people that we have to grow apart, because why? Our journeys are not the same. We go different, or we have different goals. We have different missions, right? So we do grow apart, and it's fine, really. Don't let it bother you that this friend that you used to have in middle school or high school, now you guys are no longer friends, right? You guys are no longer friends for a reason, right? Those that you still have them as friends, you still have them as friends for a reason, right? So it's okay for you to grow together and also grow apart from other people, right? So the third question would be, what is the one word you can use to describe home? Oof. So this one is because, okay, I'm gonna try to summarize it and just use one word, right? So the first word would be warmth, right? The home, it needs to feel like you belong. Or let me just use the word belong, right? At home, you know that you belong. At home, you know that I'm always eating on this dish, right? You have a specific dish that you eat from, right? At home, you have things that are specifically for you, right? That's home. You belong home. You belong at home, right? So that's what makes a home or a house a home for me, right? So what I would love for you to do for yourself, make sure you also define a home for yourself. Remember, right now we are in a space whereby we can create our own environments. We can create our own spaces that we feel home. We can create our own spaces whereby we feel safe when you go there, right? Like I said, my name is Tato, the host of Table Talk and Prayer, as well as the guest of Table Talk and Prayer. So I hope we grow together in the space of a virtual community, because we actually are a community online, right? So I do hope that we do grow together and we find solace in one another, because that's what the podcast is based on: growing together, praying together, right? So as time goes by, the full picture of what table talk and prayer is will make sense to you, right? Because right now I know there's somebody who's asking themselves, okay, this thing is called table talk and prayer, but right, for you it's still a bit of a question mark, right? But yeah, I do understand, and as time goes by, I know that it all makes sense, right? And also, please do me a favor. If you have a question, or if you have questions that you'd like me to elaborate on, give me a heads up so I can note them down, so that the next episode, what we can do, we can actually start with those issues or questions that you may be wanting us to interact, right? So as time goes by, as we grow as a community, a lot of things will definitely grow, right? And I'm hoping that we can actually do grow together, right? So that is the end of the yes, that is the end of the video. So please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and comment. That's the only way we're gonna be able to grow, right? Like, comment, and also subscribe. This is Table Talk and Prayer. See you next time.